Can you actually take miles off an odometer? New odometers can't be reversed by reversing the car but can be manipulated using specialized software. It's a common fraud. Only old odos can be wound back. Was originally a mechanical cable that ran into the dash cluster. Just had to spin it backwards with a drill and it would wipe miles off. Some of the later model ones had a semi-digital signal, so were a bit harder to wind back. Have to crack into the gauge itself and physically roll the numbers back. Was easier to interrupt the signal wire to the gauge with a switch so you could drive and the miles wouldn't move. Newer ones have a fully digital signal normally running through the computer's logic board via CAN bus system with multiple checks along the way. Almost impossible to roll back unless you have factory-level software controls. Even then, in my country at least, it's noted on the annual inspection. Put the car up on blocks in your dad's garage. Put it in reverse and place a brick on the accelerator. Let it run until desired mileage. Careful not to kick or rock the car. Even if you could, there's a national database when you get any service done on your car and the mileage is reported. Was gonna buy a truck from my dad last year. Had 80k miles for a 2016. We took it out for a test drive. Everything seemed fine until I bought the Carfax. It showed all service done with miles up to 180k miles until it magically went to 50k miles and continued up to 80k. Told the guy that I changed my mind and got my $500 deposit back for holding it for me. He was so pissed when I showed him the Carfax and told me to leave his lot. Super pissed. So crazy but doable. Always get the Carfax repot. True story. Had to add this. I know that at least some 1970s Ford vehicles ran the odometer backwards when the car was driven backwards. I had a friend who would take his dad's car to the library at night. Of course we went nowhere near the library. Basically we were out partying, scoring drugs. The usual 16-year-old suburban routine. My friend's dad was insanely strict, and, rightfully, had zero trust in his son. So he would note the mileage going out and on return. My friend's solution was to drive backwards in large circuits around the mall parking lot, which by the end of the night, after 9, was pretty deserted. We thought it was pretty hilarious, especially stoned, until the last night. That was when the late movie at the mall theater got out and my friend backed into an elderly couple at 35 miles an hour. You can imagine his father's reaction. Used to work on old Volvos. 80-90s. The 240 had a no issue where a little gear would break and the odometer would stop. The gear was easy enough to replace and some people wanted mileage added to bring it back up to where it would have been. These and many older speedometers were easy to work on and manipulate to change the mileage. And when we had a defective one we could pull one out of a junked car and set the mileage to what was on the car we were working on. I had a 1988 Toyota Camry in high school. It had an analog odometer which ran backwards when the car was in reverse. You can in fact reverse to clock back older vehicles. Has to be of a certain design though. Old cars had a wire running from the transmission to the odometer on the dash. Just take the wire, hook it up to a hand drill or something like that and let it spin in reverse. New cars are more complicated as that information is stored digitally in the ECU. You could either replace the ECU or its memory to wipe it. But that is likely protected by other measures like serial code verification or something like that. Likely more complex. Or you can hook up the car to a computer with the OBD port used for diagnostics, and use specialized software on it, basically hacking the car. I imagine the level at which access to this data is being protected will vary widely from car to car. But that's in the field of computer security. I can't speak on that. Put the Ferrari up on jacks and stick it in reverse. Just make sure Cameron doesn't kick it. Smile with a halo. Put it in H. Yeah, just watch and replicate Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Can you? Yes. Should you? No, it is a crime and you can get in quite a bit of trouble for it. Yes. But you can still see if that was done. Since you can't change the miles from every, simply put, component that keeps track of it. So a mechanic with a proper device used to read the car's AQ will be able to see if the miles match up on all the components that keep track of them. Ferris did not.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. TooAfraidToAsk is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.